Hey YouTube, it's Summer. So today I want to talk about what to do when you've been rejected from medical school. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do right now is take a deep breath and don't be so hard on yourself. I think that a lot of people who are destined to become doctors or people who are destined to become medical students, we tend to usually be type A personalities, perfectionists, overachievers, really hard workers, and maybe earlier on in the school system we were used to making all A's and we haven't really seen, failure or rejection yet. And that was for me, this was the first huge thing that I didn't accomplish, no matter how hard I tried. And so it can be a big blow, but don't be so hard on yourself, because the one thing that I have learned is that getting into medical school, while people who get in are very qualified, thousands and thousands of kids every year who apply who are just as qualified don't get in. You're not alone, and there's always next year. So take a deep breath, and instead of focusing on the rejection, focus on the future and what you're gonna do to make yourself a better applicant next cycle. So the second thing you need to do, once you've had time to get over the initial phase of rejection, is look at your application. Go on to TMDSES or AMCAS and look at everything that you filled out. Print out your personal statements, print out all of your lists of activities that you did, your research, then do a self-analysis. Look at, okay, let's pretend I'm in the admissions committee of a medical school. Why would I accept or not accept this student? And try to be as objective as possible. Really look at yourself as an applicant on a piece of paper and look for strengths and weaknesses to play up on next cycle. A lot of schools, if you do get rejected, they actually offer, sometimes it's webinars, sometimes it's in-person, little workshops for reapplicants, so they can see, okay, here's what we're looking for in this school, and these are the things that you need to hit in order to be accepted. Also, some schools will give you an explanation. You can ask the school, I think if you had an interview, you usually can email the school after the application cycle, like in maybe August or September, and ask the school their reasons for not choosing you. This can be done. So check that out, and then check out the reapplicant workshops for the specific schools that you're really interested in. So you can kind of see, okay, this is where I was lacking, this is where I need to, do a little bit more. So the third thing to do after rejection is to make a plan for the meantime. Now, ideally, when you apply to medical school, you always want to have a plan B just in case it doesn't work out. A lot of us would like to believe that we would never get rejected, but it happens to the best of us. So have a plan B beforehand if you can. But if you're finding yourself in this situation now, no need to stress. Come up with a plan B. I mean, if you're a type A person like me, I had to make like a year-long schedule, roughly, of what I wanted to accomplish by next May or the next start of the application cycle. What are things that I need to make sure I get done? What in the meantime can I do that's fulfilling and will make me happy and won't make me just, think about medical school every day or wish it was the next cycle already? Because the truth is, applying to medical school is so time consuming, and like I was accepted in November and I don't even start school until August 1st. So just the waiting and the waiting and the waiting, and then when you get rejected, realizing that, okay, so now it's at least a year and a half until I actually would be in school if I get accepted next cycle, it can be stressful. So find something to occupy your time with that keeps you interested and entertained, inspired in the meantime, so you're not just focusing on that timeline. For me, what I did is I applied to a graduate program, health administration in the business school, and then I applied to the Master's of Public Health program. And I actually got into both, and I went with the MPH, which I'm so happy that I did. In fact, a lot of people out there who don't get into medical school oftentimes do go for their MPH. And if you want to do anything regarding things focusing on prevention, community outreach, education, spreading awareness, if you want to practice medicine overseas and do Doctors Without Borders one day, everything, even just if you want to go into family medicine, if you want to be a primary care practitioner, public health gives you a lot of skills that are really important to have as a doctor that will not only keep you occupied in the meantime and have you working on something else to give your mind a rest, it will also increase your competitive edge to apply in the next cycle. You could get a job and then, work and save up some money, because med school debt is real. I know this now. You could get a job and save up money, and in the meantime, you could work on research and shadowing and volunteering. And there's just so many things you can do. So don't think that you're going to have a whole year of just waiting for medical school. That's not the case. Once you get over the initial shock of rejection, it all is going to fall nicely into place for you, and you're going to find that by the next time you apply, you're actually a lot stronger and more competitive. It can be intimidating. Like my second interview after my first application was rejected was hard, because you go in and you're with all these people who are also interviewing that day at the school, and they're all like, oh, I've been interviewed 5 times already and it's only August. And you're like, really? Like, who are you? And it's not easy to maintain your confidence after you've been rejected once. Just know that the chances of getting accepted are so slim that a lot of times it comes down to bad timing, luck. There's so many factors, not just you as a person. So don't take it personally if you're rejected, and don't let it harp down on your confidence, because that is so important to keep going until you get into medical school, because you need that confidence to keep your motivation alive and strong. So what you want to do is find something about your future dreams, about your past, about your present that is unique to you and only you, and stand with that. I decided that my ultimate goal was to open up a free clinic in Tanzania. So I got my master's of public health. I actually traveled to Tanzania for a public health service trip. It was in my personal statement. I did a lot of international health elective work. I went to a couple conferences and learned about international health. I spoke at the Office of Global Health lecture series. And so that way, all in my application, it's not just my personal statement, but everywhere you can see little hints to global health and international health and what I wanted to do with that. And that kind of helped it be a more well-rounded application. And in my interview, I incorporated it as well. So that was all something that I think helped to finally give me an identity to the admissions committee. And a lot of secondary applications will ask, if you are a reapplicant, what have you done differently this year? Or what is different about your application this cycle? And so you want to have concrete answers to that. You want to say, okay, well, I retook the MCAT and I raised my score 7 points. I went on a public health service trip. I have been published twice. I have started shadowing a neurosurgeon. All of these kinds of things can help to increase your chances of getting accepted. So I hope that this helped. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me. My email is in the channel info somewhere. You'll find it. It's on the channel somewhere. I have nothing to do until medical school starts, so email me, ask me questions. I'd love to help. Please like this video, subscribe, comment down below your experience with reapplying or your experience with medical school rejection. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's something that over time, once you get over the rejection, you can kind of actually play it to a strength. Use it to your strength and own it. And I think you'll find that people will actually kind of be intimidated by your confidence to say that you can just, yeah, I was rejected and here I am again. It can actually kind of give you a more competitive edge. So you can do it. Just stay strong and stay true to yourself, and it's all going to be just fine. It's going to work out perfectly. Anyways, hope this helped. Thanks everybody. Bye.